Hello and welcome to the Telegraph studio and Business Reporter's Future of Insurance campaign, hosted by the Telegraph Online. I'm Alistair Greener. All industries need transparent information, reliable fraud prevention and efficient processes. Without them, their finances can easily fall victim to internal failures and external threats. Even though everybody agrees on these axioms, businesses struggle to introduce methods that can safeguard them. But limited IT resources or budgets aren't an excuse. Both clients and authorities expect unimpeachable procedures. How do you bring about change? Should market players act on their own or make a shared effort? This is what we're going to discuss today with Sarah Constantini from CRIF. Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, when it comes to fraud prevention, there's plenty of methods, there's plenty of industry standards out there to help us. So why are we still falling prey to fraud?
Because fraud patterns evolve and fraudsters become organized into gangs, and fraud patterns become more complicated and attack the industry, particularly in those areas where the industry do not communicate and do not share information. As an example of this, of an untapped area of data sharing, we can mention PET, where statistics of the ABI in 2009 showed that the fraud amount of money spent was nearly £500,000. Few years later, this amount of money became £2 million, and statistics are increasing year after year.
Let's come back to what you were saying before about the databases, because today you have insurance companies and financial institutions have enormous access to all of this data. I mean, it's all there for us. So why are we still not able to make the most of it so that we can prevent this fraud?
Too much information is no information. And the users, the consumers, the customers feel puzzled about having massed data to surf into and without an organization of the data. So what is important is to get information that are integrated, interpreted, correctly organized.
So you're advocating sharing all this information. So what are the key benefits to that?
Benefits around sharing of information is in cost reduction for the industry, cost reduction for claim, cost reduction for the consumer, better serving of the consumer itself, as well as a more adequate pricing of the policy. Again, as an example, in the PET area, we can refer to the fact that in 2015, the cost in the industry for managing the claim was in the range of £700 million. This is a huge amount of money. Every day, the industry spent £1.8 million.
So clearly, judging from those figures, this sharing isn't actually happening as much as it should be. So what's getting in the way of that? What are some of the most common reasons people will give for not sharing information?
Psychological barriers, giving away competitive advantage, sometimes IT security. These elements obstruct the idea of sharing data and sharing information.
So looking at security, how can you effectively make people feel more comfortable around security, that they don't have those same concerns?
The customer needs to trust the provider, needs to trust the partner. This is possible via evidence of certification, accreditation related to security. We at CRIF provide British Standard certification, ISO certification, as well as CMMI for the quality of the software we developed. Ultimately, everything is with the long-term relationship with the customer and trust.
Trust, as you say, is clearly important. But what else does CRIF bring to the table to make sure these solutions actually take place?
We provide solutions and products to fight fraud with the ultimate goal of saving cost for the industry, making the profit increase, making the revenue increase. And not just in the PET area. What we refer to is data warehouse solution, databases with big data analysis, as well as anti-fraud product in other areas of the industry like motor, household, personal injury.
You talked there about a few different industries and about saving costs and increasing profit. Can you give me some examples of how you've helped maybe an organisation and how that's actually manifested itself?
Via the centralised hub and the centralised data for the motor claims, as well as the household and personal injury claim, and with the added value services that we built on top of those for supporting the industry at point of quote, point of claim, and investigation stage as well.
Okay, so given that environment, how do you then measure success?
I think that CRIF success rests on actionable knowledge and competitive edge that we give out to the industry by the reduction of their cost, the increase of their profitability, the correct pricing of the final user. And overall, this is in the long-term relationship that we have with the customers and with trust.
Well, one thing is for sure, as you said at the beginning of the interview, fraud within the insurance industry is going to keep on growing. So it's really interesting to hear about some of the things you can do to actually combat that. Sarah Constantini from CRIF, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.